So we'll get started. We're doing Zoom only for the foreseeable future because Town Hall is having some reconstruction, and so offices are moving around. The assessor has moved over to the highway barn. Code enforcement's gonna move down to the schoolhouse on is it near
Butler.
Butler
Yeah,
Park?
Butler Road.
Butler Road, and the development office, the rest of us are moving down to the Oriana conference room. So it will be interesting. And then after they're done working on that area, they're going to work on the clerk's area. So the conference room will be unavailable for some time. So, but thank you for everyone joining via Zoom. And let's see. I think we just have ourselves and our guests here. So I don't have anybody for any of the applications. Sorry, I'm a little disjointed. I had everything all set to go, and then my network went out, and now I'm kind of like trying to catch back up.
Can we ask our guests to introduce themselves while we
That
get
would be perfect.
Okay. Yeah, Jim, why don't you start?
Okay, I'm Jim Berger. I live on Dugway Road in town of Canandaigua. I've lived in the Canandaigua town for over 40 years. I'm self-employed landscaper, basically retired now, but I've been in the landscape business pretty much my whole adult life. So I have a little experience with property maintenance and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Nicole, would you like to?
Sure. I'm Nicole Bryson. This is my husband, James. We just moved to Canandaigua at the beginning of May this year. I'm from New York State originally, but down more the southern tier and on Route 17 in between Elmira and Binghamton. James is a Californian. So
I can introduce myself.
Okay, I'll stick to myself then. And I am a chemist. I worked originally in the pharmaceutical industry. I worked for what's now Pfizer. And then for the last 20 years, I've worked in the environmental analytical chemistry business for an environmental testing laboratory. And for the last 3 years, I was the laboratory director of the analytical laboratory. And now that we live here in New York, I work for another environmental services firm. So that's what I do.
And I am James, obviously, husband, not from New York. I'm originally native Californian. We had lived in New York back in the early 2010s near Albany for a few years. So I'm not completely, unknowing of what's going to be coming up in the next few months. I am a geologist. I'm a professional geologist. I work in the environmental consulting business, mostly site assessment and remediation projects. And I don't know if Nicole mentioned this, we're on State Route 21, about 2 miles south of Cheshire.
Very nice.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Did you have any of you, did you have any questions for us, or do you want us to kind of go over some of the stuff we do?
Yeah, I mean, I got interested in this group because when I was at the town offices registering my dog, I had seen that there was a vacancy for the board, and I had seen some of the things that the board works on. But if you want to just tell us a quick overview from your perspective of what kind of issues the board routinely deals with, that would be great.
Okay, I'll start, and if anybody else has any thing to add, feel free to jump in. Let's see. We're kind of a bit of a lot of things, a little bit more than some of the other boards. So one of the things that we do is we'll review development applications. So if somebody puts in like a site plan or subdivision, and you'll see some of that on our agenda tonight, and you're welcome to stay if you want to hear that, or if you want to go at any point, that's fine too. So we review those from an environmental perspective, and we give our feedback to the planning board and the zoning board. Sometimes different committees or boards will ask for our opinion too, like the town board. And so like I said, if you want to listen to some of what we do, but we'll look at things like, they're cutting into the trees a lot. So that might be a trigger to us, and we might ask if they could maybe revise their plans. We're only an advisory board, so we can't say you got to do this. That's really for the zoning board and the planning board to take into consideration, and maybe work with the applicants to change some of that, or maybe not. Sometimes that's the case too. Let's see, we're also an education group, so we do a lot of outreach, whether it's sharing articles to the newsletter, or sometimes, we haven't done it recently, but we've hosted events in the past. We have a display case in town hall, so there's a number of things that we try and do to share information with the community and residents. Did I forget any of the big stuff we do?
No, I think
Well,
you-
in our newsletter, in the Environmental Conservation Board section of our newsletter, there's always really great stuff. Kim is always putting very interesting items, and each of us takes a turn writing an article monthly for the newsletter, the e-newsletter, and any kind of sorts of environmental topics. I guess our task around here is to protect our lake and keep the waters that flow into it as clean as they can be. Protect the little creatures and protect the water and any number of things that affect our local environment.
Mhm. Yes, we also promote composting, recycling, try to give instruction on what is recyclable, what's not. Waste reduction is another point of interest for us.
I think the planning board over time has become a lot more receptive to our input when we're doing these site reviews, which is great to see.
We often offer alternative ideas about placement, about tree protection, how to do a tree well, etc. So we don't just criticize, we may offer some options that may not have been thought of before.
All right, well, thank you for that background.
Yes, thank you.
Did you have any questions that you thought of while we were going over that?
The recycling thing is a very interesting thing these days because it's become very confusing.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes, and we do try to clarify what is acceptable and what's not, and occasionally do campaigns about that, as well as cleanups and other projects that we take on occasionally.
Yeah, and I will add to that in the next few years here, that's probably going to be a more hot and button issue with the local landfill coming to capacity. So any kind of recycling efforts or waste reduction are probably going to become priority in the next few years.
Definitely so. I know there was something in the recent newsletter, last month's newsletter that Jared shared, and it was about the landfill and stuff like that. So definitely look for that if you get a chance. Righty. Let's see. Can I get an approval of last month's minutes, please?
So moved.
Mhm. I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We don't have Mike on. He had asked me.
No, I'm
if-
here.
Oh, you're there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
engaged as well.
Did you want to give a report from the development office?
This coming, well, this past deadline day, which was the second, we were bombarded, so it looks like it's gonna be a very busy winter.
How
But
many?
that's about it. Nothing different or new. I'm the only zoning officer right now. They are interviewing. And, I know Sam has moved over from clerk to, code enforcement, and he's training now. So we have 3 code enforcement officers.
Very nice. Let's see, town board. We can do this later on, but there was an incentive zoning request that came up. It's in the form-based code area. It's for housing. Mike, did you want to give a quick blurb on that?
I believe is this the one where we were told them years ago it's not gonna work for a house, and now they changed their mind, they came back? Is that the one we're talking about?
No, this is the incentive zoning.
Okay,
It's the big housing project.
okay. No, Sarah did more work on this than I did, so I really can't comment on it.
Okay. We can open up the application later on. Sarah had said we're just supposed to comment on, if we have any opinions on the town board being the lead agency on it. But if you have any comments on it in general, I can always add that to our note to the town board. Let's see. And like I said, we'll go over that later on. Because that's in our list of stuff here that we're getting to. The ordinance committee, let's see. I honestly don't remember what they did last month. There was a whole bunch of stuff. I know they did form-based code. I think they talked about minimum house size, maybe again. I can't remember. I'd actually have to look at the agenda. I'm sorry, I don't remember what they did, but they're doing a lot of that stuff in the upcoming meeting again. So Sarah has already asked Dave Sauter if the native plant requirement that we had looked at from Victor, she was going to pass that along to the ordinance committee. She thought that would be a really easy thing to get through. So, and that was basically requiring 70% native plants in like non-residential areas. So I think that one will be pretty easy to get through as well. Maybe. Who knows? Sometimes it can be a bit different.
I mean, it would be nice to have something that we can just point to when we start getting all these questions that, oh, you want natives, but how much and where and what, and
Yeah.
that's a good start.
So the town of Victor, they have like a whole native plant manual. I can send you the link if you guys would like. I thought it was interesting. They had actually James Engel was like the original.
their consultant, yeah. Mhm.
Yep. He was the original person to work on it, and I think they've worked on it more since, so they've added some things, but it was quite complete.
Yes, I would like to point out that the tree and shrub publications that the tree committee did are practically, I'd say 95% native plants. So that's a good source too.
Yes.
All of the shrubs are for sure. If a few of the trees are cultivars that have been developed from native plants to make them hardier and more adapted to climate change and to some of the bugs and diseases that have been imported, but they are a good source of native plants also.
Yep. The planning board is actually going to review those at their upcoming meeting.
Oh, good.
So, they're very interested in, those lists and the planning board chairman, he asked if we were gonna have things like species that were salt tolerant, ones that were good for highway locations, and so he
I
was
think
get-
some of that is included in the information.
okay,
I'm not sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
I know I looked over the tree list and I had some comments on a couple of the species, but
Mhm.
I can send those out to the group.
Okay. Mhm.
But,
If you would, it'd be nice if you send those out to the members. That would be good.
perfect.
I think some of our favorite native plants are susceptible to things that have come along lately, and there are other hybrids and cultivars that pretty much have the same habitat benefits, but they're, as I say, a hybrid, and they're not exactly straight natives, but they are possibly better adapted to present conditions than the originals were. I think that's what you'll find on that tree list.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'll write up my comments. I know I've gotten chicken scratched
Very
right now.
We
So
read quick chicken scratch. That's all.
so I will send those along. While we're talking about that, did anyone else have any comments on the shrub or tree list?
No, I
I
think
thought it
know
was
the-
very thorough. I thought it's great. I think it's gonna be really helpful, you know, for folks going forward with their projects. Absolutely.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I like the way it
Yeah.
was set up with, they, you know, it's the different, it's not tolerant to alkaline soils. And so that was, you know, so it would tell you right up front, well, I probably shouldn't plant this tree because I have heavy soil or sandy soil. So I think it's a good list. A lot of good trees.
Yeah, there was some good work that went into that. All right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to having those more available. I also talked with Sarah Reynolds about form-based code because form-based code had like plant lists actually like put into it. And that's where we were talking about one of them was like maiden grass, which was an invasive that we didn't like. And I think it would be better for form-based code just to point at these lists and, you know, not have trees and other things specified in that code. So,
now when these are finalized, will we have copies of these out front in the office for folks to take, or will this just come with a planning packet and stuff?
I suspect it would come more with you know, we could add the links to their workspaces or
Okay.
maybe we could have some available. That would be something I could talk with Sarah about and see what would work best for the process in the office.
Mhm.
But
Or put it on the website.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I know Edith, I think you said that you had written a intro.
Yes, I sent that. I sent an introduction to Dennis and to Sarah Reynolds, I believe, and to Dan Marion, and asked them to read it and amend if they found anything that they needed to amend. If they haven't gotten it to you, I will shake their cage and
I haven't seen it.
If they can get off of the dime. If not, I will send it to you and they can just live with it.
Okay. Yeah, I have not seen it.
Okay, well, I wrote it probably 2 months ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, okay, I'll make sure that you get that tomorrow.
Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, yes.
Because I think the introduction will
Yeah.
strengthen how these documents are used.
Yes, I think it would too. It's pretty short. It's just, here's why we suggest these. They're adapted to the soils, the climate, the pests. They are providing habitat, etc.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Oh, let's see. I think I can share some of the other information now. Let's see. The display cases stay. They will not be impacted by the construction.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will start in and change them out pretty soon.
Okay. I just got that info yesterday.
Okay.
Let's see. Said that one. So the other thing that I had was it a week or two back, the planning board chairman, he had asked me to review the landscaping plan that West Hair Honda had submitted, because the planning board said, nope, guys, you need more landscaping. That's what everybody's telling us, and that's what form-based code is indicating. So they asked them for an updated landscaping plan, and the planning board chair asked me to review it before the planning board meeting. I asked them to replace a tree and a shrub in it that some places have said are invasive, and they said okay. So that's so that was easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had butterfly bush and the Japanese tree lilac, and some sources had said the Japanese tree lilac was invasive, and obviously the butterfly bush is. But they were fine with changing those out, and so they put in a lot more trees and shrubs around their border. So, and that's what the planning board was really looking for. So I think that they'll use some of that going forward with some of the other car dealerships in the form-based code area. So just to share that along. I think that was all the rest of my other news. And then we're up to our application. So these are some of the things that we review and we give our feedback. A lot of the feedback is for the planning board. Occasionally it's for the zoning board as well. And Mike, did you have any information on the Foster Road applications? I know we've seen these before.
Right, those two applications made it through planning board. These are two of the lots in the back, I believe.
It's just.
So there was nothing like particular about it that stood out. I've been working on this since I started here. This is one of the first projects I worked on. And yeah, everything went through smooth. They are putting in their own road in there. And before they did this, they did a lot of protection, because there's a stream that runs right down in front on Foster Road. When I was there checking it, so they put in some protection with the silt fence and everything to keep that clean.
Did anyone have any comments on this one?
So we did look at this initially, before the more
Yeah,
fine
this-
plans were.
Yeah, the subdivision, yeah.
Yeah.
They're off the private road, and then there's lots that front Foster, like Mike just said.
Yeah,
And then, so these were the two that were in the back near the
Yeah.
steep slopes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the larger lots.
I would definitely say that they should not clear any more trees than they've indicated on the site plans going forward. And if they do need some sort of tree clearing, they should come back to the town and talk to the town before doing that. So there's no
Mhm.
confusions and no violations, and we can
Yeah.
protect the steep slope area. Let's see. Now this lot, I think this is lot 2. I didn't see on here. Oh, there's the dry well. I just didn't see it, I guess, before. They do have a dry well on here.
Mhm.
I did see that on the other one, and now I'm seeing it on this one. So hopefully that they've
yeah.
got their house and driveway running to their dry well.
Mhm.
Guess I gotta plug in my PC. Anybody else have any comments?
not from here.
Not for me.
No.
I would also suggest native landscaping. There was no landscaping plan submitted with this,
No,
but
there's not. Mhm.
I would suggest that.
Mhm.
If it's important to the planning board, since can
Mhm.
they see the lake from this location? I can't remember.
No,
No. Okay.
they're right across from Notre Dame. They're actually that big field that's on the corner of Middle Cheshire Road and Foster Road.
Okay.
They're
Mhm.
right across from just before you get to the entryway to Notre Dame. So, but it backs up. These lots back up to the gully.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they're probably not. Mike, do you know if they're in the scenic view shed?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're just
Is there
kind of
a-
nicely tucked back in there.
Nicely tucked back in.
Private, you know?
Yeah, because I was gonna say if they were in a scenic view shed, they should really submit a landscape plan.
Yeah.
So the planning board can review that, but
Mhm.
guess that's it. Preserving the trees, don't take any more than they have to, because that will be key to protecting those slopes.
Yes, well, they may get a lot of, we get another of those 4 inches in an hour downpours. They may find a lot of water coming at them. So.
Yep.
Mhm.
So let's see. So
That permanent check dam may need cleaned out now and again too.
okay.
You know, the check dams silt up, and sometimes they need to be cleaned out if you've had a heavy downpour and lots of erosion going into them. They do slow the water down. They do that, and they catch a lot of silt, but they need to be maintained too.
Okay. I will make note of that in our recommendations. So the
Now,
homeowner,
just a note to say,
yeah.
be aware.
Well, that for that matter, the dry wells need maintenance as well.
Yes, they
so,
will.
I'll
With
include-
all that slope, they're going to be, rainfall being what it is anymore.
Definitely.
Mhm.
So, any other comments from anyone? Okay. move on to our next one. And this is another one of the Foster roads.
Mhm.
The nice part about actually Zoom is we can all look at the plans up close as opposed to the screen across the room.
Right. It helps.
So here is the other one. I forget, this is lot 1. So this is lot 1.
Mhm.
I would probably say largely the same things for this one. I don't know if they have a permanent check. Oh, they do. So they have permanent check dams as well. So
Mhm.
we could probably make the same comments for both applications.
Mhm.
Yeah, probably so.
Justin or Gary, did you have anything to add to either one of them?
No, I don't. I think we've covered a lot in past sessions on these ones, so.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have.
nothing else comes to mind.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, this one was easy because it's
Yes.
largely the same as the one before.
Oh, yes.
This one we've seen before. Mike, do you know what they changed on
They changed the direction of the house to get a better view. And I think the length of the driveway, but when I did the zoning law determination, they really didn't like make anything too abundantly different. They just wanted to have a better view of, because they are in the, they're in the scenic view set overlay. And they wanted to be able to see the lake then.
okay.
So we just moved the house like different angle.
But it's kind of largely in the same footprint.
Yeah, not much
Okay.
has changed.
So this was the one with the long driveway and the
Yep.
guy hit the putting green.
Yep.
Yeah.
We could probably share whatever comments we had from the last time if
I think probably.
Yeah, I think last time the comments I had were just on kind of where the water was going, but they have stuff
Mhm.
going down the driveway for runoff control, and it's not a
Yeah.
straight shot into the existing road, so
Mhm.
always a benefit.
I was, excuse me. I was interested in their wastewater disposal, their leach field over there. I was wondering if they have a drop box system where
It's probably in the detail sheet,
I
right?
can't
Wouldn't it be in
really.
the detail sheet?
Probably so.
Yeah.
I was wondering, that's a really steep grade.
Here you go, your drainage fill system
Yeah,
trench.
yeah,
Drop
okay.
box detail.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go,
drop
Edith.
box. Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It cuts the momentum of water so it doesn't erode it. That's okay, drop box, good. Okay, great. That works very well.
okay. All
So
right.
where is the Dropbox positioned in the system?
In general, in a Dropbox system, it will fill the water will go to the top pipe first, and if there's more, then it will go down to the second one, and so on. So, but it just cuts the velocity of the water. Think about a washer. emptying and churning out a whole, gallons of water all at once. If that, on that kind of slope, if you've got too much water hitting a perforated pipe, you will get a lot of erosion. The drop box cuts the velocity and spreads it out to the side. And that's appropriate for that kind of slope, right?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Edith.
Yes.
Wealth of knowledge.
My children are proud that I know so much about septic systems.
There you go. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to know
Yeah,
it.
well, but that's an appropriate use, all right.
Yeah.
Concerned that they have drop boxes instead of just pipes running downhill. That would be a bad one.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, I will just I forget when we reviewed this. It was during the summer. So I'll
Mhm.
just say, we have the same comments, and I'll also put in that we were happy to see that they had a drop box and stuff in their waste system.
We just need to make sure too, they're using a lake-friendly fertilizer on the golf course.
Okay.
Yes,
That sounds
yes.
good.
Right.
I will put in something about the lake-friendly lawn care for their golf course.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, well, no non-phosphorus fertilizer. Grass uses phosphorus only when it's sprouting and never again. So you don't want phosphorus on the lawn. It just washes down, and I'm afraid we've got a lot of stuff fertilizing the lake already. So
They've had some bad blooms this.
bad
Yeah.
cyanobacteria, yeah,
Yep.
bad stuff.
So very cool.
Hmm.
All righty. I will add those comments. If we didn't already comment, say those things, I will add them.
Thank you.
And so then we have, this is the incentive zoning. I don't know if anyone got a chance to look at it at all. They had quite a package with amenities and stuff, but what we're really being asked is, we weren't asked to review those and comment on like the amenities and the plan at this point in time, but we were asked to our comment on the town board being the lead agency. But I will definitely take any comments if people have them. I can include them.
Who is usually the lead agency on a sizable project? Is it the town typically? I don't
Occasionally,
know the answer to that.
occasionally the planning board has been lead agency on things.
Oh, okay.
But Mike, do you have
No, honestly, I do not know who runs, with that when it comes to a huge project. I know when that stuff comes in, Mike Murphy usually has a huge sigh. So other than that, not sure.
let's see, I got the wrong file. Let's try this again.
We got the long form seeker, right? And that, it was in there
Yeah,
that Eric put out, right?
yep.
Yeah,
So this is their project.
yeah.
A lot of their amenities are upgrades to Blue Heron Park, which is this area down here.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly, some of the amenities were they wanted to put in bathrooms, pave the trails. I can't remember what else there might be in it. But I think they were talking about making some trails around their stormwater areas. But it's a lot of houses and
Yeah.
there's like really nothing up in this corner. It would be nice if they just took a couple spots up here, and even if it's like a really passive green area, because the people up here have to go like all the way down here if they want to get to like, a larger green space, walk their dog, or I don't know.
Mhm.
But it would be nice, and they don't have to put in like playground. I think they're putting in some playground equipment down here too, now that I'm talking.
Mhm.
It would be nice if they just, I don't know, a little bigger than a pocket park, but maybe like some green area up in the corner, make it a little bit more of a natural space, and then like have a trail or something where people can like basically walk from the corners.
Now, for the uptown area, I mean, this has come up in the past for these larger ones, like corridors and stuff like that. Does that not apply because it's in this area, or?
Uh, I know one of the things they're asking for, this is why they went for incentive zoning, was that they wanted these places to be smaller than I think what incentive zoning would allow.
Mhm.
And I've heard about this a couple of times in a couple of different meetings, but I'm drawing a blank now. It was a busy day and my brain's not functioning overly well at the moment.
So there's
So
gonna be some commercial as well as residential on those buildings on the left.
Mhm.
I believe there's some mixed use down
Right.
in
Mhm.
some of these, and some like apartment type structures. I think the first floor would be like a commercial space or something like that, and then you would have some living areas above it.
Well, it's not an amenity, but I wonder about encouraging that they embrace New York State's climate friendly initiatives with air source heat pumps and maybe solar on the roofs and whatnot.
Okay.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
suggestion, but
No, it's a
I-
great
I mean, that's
opportunity for that.
gonna be a rule come 2030. No,
Mhm.
2026, I think, as far as getting rid of fossil fuels for new construction.
I will include that. I think that's a great suggestion, especially on those larger buildings.
Yeah.
And this will be done all at once, or is this going to be different portions being occurring at like on a
I
schedule?
Phased.
I
Yeah.
Yeah,
would
phased.
I would expect it to be phased.
Yeah.
But with its approval, I guess it would happen before that timeline. They don't have to worry about that. So any building that occurs after that date wouldn't necessarily have to apply.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how those rules would.
Yeah,
Oh.
just so they don't run amok. I don't know either. Just a question I had.
Okay.
There's a good description of the project in the first page of the full environmental assessment form. Just saying what the units are going to be, what and their build out into what year, and so it's the long form seeker
Mhm.
that MRB sent. That's that one we just got from Eric. And then at the end of the report is the plan.
Okay.
No, not that one.
Not that one.
It's just the seeker from that was prepared through MRB, looks like, or some,
I don't know if they have that in here. Let me see.
or no, Marathon Engineering, but it just gives a good short breakdown of what the project is about.
Ah,
That's it.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Full EAF, yeah. See, just that little blurb, brief description.
Mhm.
So I thought it's a great
Beautiful
place for
imagery.
housing.
Yeah,
Um,
Okay, so
Yeah.
2035. So this will be going for a while.
Hopefully affordable.
I think that's part of the goal, hopefully.
Whatever that means, right?
Whatever they, right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Because
I'm
we
not
heard
sure.
it like a couple
$500,000.
meetings ago, that's kind of creeping again.
I'm not
Mhm.
sure how affordable they'll be.
Yes, depending, well, some people can afford anything, others can't afford anything at all.
Yeah,
That is very true.
I think conceptually though, it's a good idea, something different, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Housing's definitely needed.
Mhm.
absolutely.
But yeah, I thought they were a little shy on the green space in there, the public green space.
mhm.
They were just pretty much counting on the park.
Hmm.
And a couple of those bigger lots in would be a great place for some green space instead of a house, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, a small playground or something in there would be.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you like turn the curve, you've got that funny shape,
Mhm.
quarter of a pie shaped lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes those could possibly lend themselves to just being green. I know
Yeah.
that's less money to be made, but it'd be nice for the people
Well,
around
yeah.
it.
Well, one of the
Definitely.
things you have to remember is that there will be as many dogs as there will be people.
That's true.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that. Need a puppy park.
Yes, well,
It could be.
Yeah,
It-
there you go.
you know, that is often.
That's a very good suggestion, in my opinion.
I just know what these places are like.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sometimes I think there are more dogs than people.
Could be. But yeah,
that
I
could
mean,
be, sometimes that could be a stipulation of the project. You know, you never know.
It needs to be considered anyway.
And it's a good consideration.
yep.
Mhm.
Is there any dog parks in the town?
In the
Yeah,
city,
down by the winery. Or sorry, that's a city, yeah. never
that's
mind.
city,
Yeah.
the town doesn't have one. Hey,
Town
that's what
doesn't.
we should focus on getting something like that up and going, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a big concentration of people, and you'll have,
Yeah.
in my experience, you have an enormous population of dogs when you've got that many people. And if they all end up in Blue Heron Park, that's going to be
a lot of dog poop.
problem.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a really,
That's a
that's
lot of
really
dog
a
poop.
good thought right there.
Edith, did you say like the bacterial loading from a dog is like 3 times that of a human or something?
It is after geese, dog poop was the biggest contaminant of almost all of the Finger Lakes.
Ah,
Wow. Well,
I know
hey,
that's a
Edith, that'd be
lovely
a good,
thought,
you
but
can write a good newspaper article on that, newsletter article.
I think we have one in the archives.
We
I
do?
think we do have one in the archives. I wrote one long
Oh, okay.
ago.
It's important.
Well, it should be considered because, you know, it is true, any apartment complex you are going, or townhouse complex, or houses, you're going to have dogs.
Yeah.
yep. And it would kind of help Blue Heron Park not get so overloaded, because that's what I kind of see. I'm like, everybody's going to go there, and it's a
Yep.
quiet little park right now, but it won't be after this.
No.
Oh.
So if they just put in a little bit of, and I like the dog park idea. So
Do they still stock that pond down there or no?
It has never been stopped
Okay.
officially. But people have put fish in there, and I do see people fishing in it and
Okay.
catching things, but it was never officially stocked by the town.
Be another nice little useful area in something like this.
Yep. Well, there are fish there, and probably
Some that we don't
abandoned
want there.
goldfish and everything else. So
That would also be something that they could do, is add more like native water, marshy plants around the pond, and actually, create some more natural type of habitat there.
It'll be good to see too what they're gonna do around those water runoff areas and retention
Yes, yep.
ponds when they get to it for the landscaping plans.
Mhm. Well, recommend to them that they do not mow the grass down to
Right.
the edge of the water, because geese will get off the water. The geese will come before anyone else, but they will stay on the water if there is a fringe of tall grass or cattails around the edge. Geese will not walk through tall grass.
Okay,
They can't see predators coming. The last time I was at Blue Heron Park, they had left a fringe of cattails and tall grass
Oh, good.
around the ponds, and the goose poop problem was greatly diminished.
okay. So kind of have it more like a natural area
Yeah,
around the ponds, the stormwater ponds and stuff.
yes. But specifically not to mow the edge of around the water,
Okay,
prevent the geese from getting off onto the lawns.
okay.
Yeah,
And I'm guessing they're not gonna be interconnected. They're just their own water retention areas.
looks like it, yeah.
Yeah. I think
They're
this is
fairly flat there.
this is the only plan document I think we have like this, so
Mhm.
I think they talk about stuff in one of the other documents, and like show like some of the different house styles and things like that, but or am I confusing it with another project? That could be.
There's a couple of them out there.
There is. Anything else? Did anyone have any comments on the town board being the lead agency on this?
Mhm.
No,
I'm
Hmm.
fine with it if.
Yeah.
blessings on them, yeah.
Gary and Justin?
No, I'm good.
Okay with,
Perfect. Well, I will include our other comments in, and town board's gonna get them, whether they like them or not. So I will send them along.
Mhm.
So
Thank you.
we will do that. All righty. Close up a few of these documents. So that finished our referrals. The newsletter is coming out next Monday. Thank you for the article, Patty.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Yes, it
Mark, what's it?
It was a good article. I read it too.
Very
I
nice.
have to share my writings with Edith, since she's the expert in most things environmental.
Oh, just ask me about it. Yeah.
what was the topic?
Her topic was turtles and rabbits.
Well, this was funny because I wanted to call it the tortoise and the hare, but the expert chimed in and says a rabbit's not a hare and it's whatever. So
Yes.
we have to go with turtles and rabbits.
And box turtle is not a tortoise. I'm sorry.
But you don't want an expert to read your article and say, hey, they don't know what they're talking about. That wouldn't
No,
be
I didn't. It was I felt bad. I'm
I don't
so
want to get
sorry.
kicked off the ECB for misrepresenting my article.
I think people will really enjoy it.
It was really good. Yes, it was good. Mhm.
Now, Mark has told me he wants to do a little regular piece for the newsletter. It didn't work out this month, but because he had some family stuff going on, but he wants to call it Bird Bites,
Mhm.
and it will be bird-based information. So he had wanted to put in something about was it Birdcast? It's kind of like forecasting migrations for October, but it didn't, he just didn't have the bandwidth for that. So so he's looking to do something for the upcoming month. And I think people will like the bird content a lot too.
I think so.
Let's see. So no, let's see. Working on the October now. The November newsletter will come up very, very fast. So if anybody wants to send me something for November, always happy to get that. And we covered the display cases staying. So Edith, did you have anything thought of for the upcoming season?
Well, I was thinking about putting up something about pruning oak trees, because you are not supposed to do it until the weather turns really cold because the fungus, the oak wilt fungus. And I thought maybe that would be a good topic for general information.
Very
Possibly give you an article about that too.
Oh, that would be nice. Yep.
Because
Wonderful.
we have had oak wilt in the area before in the town, and it's extremely difficult to kills trees, in other words. Yes.
Definitely.
Mhm.
We don't need any more of that.
No.
Let's see. The website recently got a facelift.
Yeah.
I had sent out an email. I didn't know if anybody had any opinions on they had basically gotten rid of the content, a lot of the extra content we had. And I can have them restore it.
I think it froze.
Oh, did Kim freeze?
Kim's frozen.
Uh-oh. She's stuck in place.
Yes.
Hmm.
I thought it was my computer.
So I wanted to run something by you guys.
Yeah.
Or mention something. I was walking with my dog in Miller Park the other day, and we were just getting started back up again walking, but I noticed quite a few trees that are like that, just not there anymore, just kind of a stick sticking up out of the ground where once was a decent tree. And I know we talk about some of the funds from our ECB kitty, and I don't know if there's anything, what we have in there, but it might be a nice idea to try to buy a few new trees for the ones that are practically gone in Miller Park. Just something
I think that would
say,
be a really nice thing to do.
because it needs help out there.
Mhm. The trees that have croaked were put in a few years ago and given the alligator bags, to drip water and stuff. And the people who were contracted to do that kind of work failed to fill the bags again after the first go around. So the the trees suffered a great deal, and
Yeah.
some of them have died, and
Yeah.
some of them, particularly the ones downhill, lived because there's enough groundwater flow going down, but there are some that need to be replaced. The current park staff is taking care of the trees now, and taking care of the mowing, and they're doing a far better job than what was done. So I think if we spring for some more trees, that probably will have better success, because they have
Edith, do you
better.
know if there's like a plan of what trees are actually planted at the park?
Well, there
Like-
was at one time, I'm not sure.
Maybe in the
if
beginning of
it's
it
still
all,
there.
huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, were those all from Mayflower or?
Most of them, I think.
Because I think they had to
probably-
replace a couple of them that
Ye-
didn't survive initially.
Yeah. I think that was where those mostly came from at the time. There are other nurseries around, of course, Jim Ingles being one of them. And, you know, so if we replace them, we're looking at, you know, we don't have to exactly look at only one place too.
Right. Did they replace some of them on the upland part there?
I don't know. I
The
know
ones that got
that
hacked and stuff?
some of them were, some of the plantings were mowed off
Mm-hmm.
by this same crew. The, you know, there were a
Sitting
number
area
of
up there,
bushes
basically.
that were planted for bird use, for habitat, for food and so on, and they were thriving and were mowed down, and some of the trees were had a lot of damage from the string trimmers and so on, and from black
Oh.
plastic being put around them so that to make it easier to mow. So that upland section of the park has really suffered a great
So
deal.
who would be the contact person to find out like what trees were planted from the get-go? Who would be the person?
Well,
Lindsay? Is she-
Dennis Brewer was in
Dennis?
charge first, and now Lindsay would be the person to go to. Yeah.
Yeah, there might be an existing plan somewhere, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm sure there was a plan because I made one.
Well, there
with-
you go.
with Dennis, but I don't have a copy of it. It was when I was still working for the Soil and Water District. And I don't know what has become of it, if it's still around or not, but certainly it can be amended, and, you know, as
We
long
would
as,
know what's
planning-
there and what we've lost,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah, as
then we
long
can
as we're not
determine what to
planning right for
do.
repair, we're okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think many of the ones that have gone down were, a couple of them were maple of some,
uh,
and so I don't know. I'd have to look at them, and I haven't been out to Miller Park this year, so I haven't.
I keep forgetting to go out there. It's such a nice place to walk a dog too. Just a night, it's
It
just,
is, it's-
no one's ever there much, you know?
Well, it's really unique because it is prairie mostly and grassland. And the birds in that area are so unique.
Yeah,
You see things there that you never see anyplace else, you know, bobolinks and eastern meadowlarks and things like that, which you hardly ever see anywhere.
yeah.
It does attract a lot of birders. You'd be surprised, you know, but there's no record kept of who goes, so
Hmm.
you can't actually,
We need a guest book.
wouldn't hurt, yeah.
Hey, there she is. I thought our town deserted us for a minute there.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay, yeah.
We decided a few things without you,
We were
Kim.
talking
Perfect.
anyway.
We're spending our money.
Excellent. What are we spending it on?
Trees.
We're talking about Miller Park and the missing trees that are there, you know,
Nice.
several things have died away.
Mhm.
Might be a good thing to replace a few.
Mhm.
Oh, that
It's
would
just
be
an
great.
idea.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's great.
If you want to come up with a list of possibilities, we can get that working through the budget process before the
Yeah,
end
there
of
we
the year.
go. Since we have that beautiful new list,
Yep.
we could set an
Definitely.
example.
Oh, good. Yes, that would be fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How much money do we have to play with?
I think it's usually around $1,500. So
Buy a few trees.
it's a fair number of trees.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
Now is a good time for planting too.
This is true. How's everybody doing for their training? That's the only other thing that usually comes out of our budget is money for training. So
I think mine's all taken care of.
I'm going to the one coming up in Newark at the end of October, that all-day workshop. That sounds pretty good. So
I'll see you there.
good, good. Maybe we can carpool.
There you
What
go.
is that workshop about?
Actually, there was a number of environmental topics in that one.
Oh,
So.
yeah, well, I have abandoned
What's the
my
deadline
theater.
for that, Kim?
It was
it already?
last week, I think.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
well, maybe they
Yeah.
can squeeze Edith in. Maybe they'll
No,
have,
it's okay. It's
you
okay.
never know.
I would probably just talk too much anyway.
No, you're full of wonderful information.
So
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, well, have a good time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell
We'll
me
bring
about it.
back info.
Yes, good.
But yeah, so that's coming up. So that's like the only thing that usually hits our budget other than trees. So usually it's something around $1,500 that we have to spend. So we can always submit that, November, December timeframe, or we can do it earlier.
Mhm.
So Kim, we were talking about that at one time. There was a planting plan for the park. Edith said she and Dennis worked on it. But where it might be nice
Don't
to
know.
get a hold of it so we can determine what's lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Lindsay may have it, or I don't know. I really don't.
Was it through the tree committee that you did that, or?
No, actually, it was while I was still working for Soil and Water, and I just did it. Dennis called up and asked me to do one, and I came up with a plan, and it has seen ins and outs in all this time. So I don't know if it has been amended, changed, ditched, whatever. I don't know. I did the signs that are out there, the little explanatory signs of what you might see.
Okay.
Part of that project for him when they first got the park.
Well, that's something Sarah would probably be the best person to ask because she's one of the longest remaining people at the town that might have an idea.
Well,
That's
I don't
true.
think Dennis still has the plan anywhere.
Well,
Okay.
maybe it was scanned, it's possible.
Well, could be, yeah, could be.
They're probably boring everybody talking about trees for so long.
We don't want
We're
to
passionate
discourage
about our
anybody.
trees. Let's see. Let me see if I've got my stuff. I'm not sharing anything at the moment, so let's see. Gary, I think we're up to your documents. I'll bring those up and I'll share them. So if you want to start talking, or I.
Sure. So did Kim just freeze again?
Yep.
Okay, I was going to share my screen, but sharing is not turned on for me. So Anyhow, let me talk. I looked at zoning board of appeals minutes over the past 4 years, because I've come up in the past, we've had some concerns about decisions made which we thought could have environmental impact that would not be to the benefit of the town. Kind of looking at specifically at stream setbacks, lot
Mhm.
cover, steep
Mhm.
construction, and kind of consistent with zoning boards everywhere. There is a high rate of approval of variances submitted to ZBAs, and the town is no exception. It's more than 90% of variances are approved at the meetings upon review. And I wish I could see the data we've collected. It looks like over time, though, that there has been less approval, somewhat, and maybe more importantly, that there was more frequently references to prior nonconformity, prior precedents as a basis for approving variance requests. And that seems to have decreased over time. And that might in part reflect changes in the ZBA membership, perhaps. I'm not sure. So that seems to be happening less frequently. Actually, in 2024, there have not been any requests for variances related to stream setbacks, which has been more of a concern in past years. Lot coverage setbacks is the number one request for variances, and a lot of that is in neighborhoods that we've been concerned about in the past. Fallbrook and Sandy
Yeah.
behind the list of lots that are relatively small, and for many years people have been granted setback variances, and that has continued. Kim could probably answer whether or not that's on the ordinance committee's list to look at, but certainly something which seems warranted in light of the number of variances which are approved in those areas, which are kind of unique settings, and whether it needs a different zoning designation or just a different interpretation of the ordinances for those specific neighborhoods. Yeah, so that's kind of what I came up with looking at things. Again, a very high percentage of approvals of variances which are requested, and some of those are of a concern for our group, I think. Gorham, interestingly, looking at their ZBA minutes, are a little more attentive to their ordinances as far as issuing much fewer variances,
Mhm.
which is interesting. But other communities in the area, pretty much 90%, and there is some literature on this, some publications looking at nationally functioning of zoning boards and whatnot, and it's a pretty high approval rating in general. If people bother to contest something and come to the meeting, especially if they bring a lawyer with them, they frequently are approved.
Yeah.
It's good to see that there does seem to be some steering away from looking at the precedents. What did we lose? No. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Okay.
those are yours, right?
Like magic.
Yeah, look at that.
Sorry about that. My
Yeah.
internet's usually very reliable. Spectrum must have something going on, so.
You aren't sharing your bandwidth with 20 other people in the house right now.
No, it's pretty quiet for the most part, so.
Okay. So, yeah, anyhow, so this is
Which
if I
document
can
did you want, Gary?
share this page. Yeah, go to the PowerPoint first,
The
just
PowerPoint?
kind of
Okay.
an overview of. Yeah, so these were looking at 3 variance requests for setbacks, lot coverage, and stream setback from streams, and you can see the total. These are just total numbers of referrals. So 2022 there were more of the requests for stream setbacks, and so far in 2024 none. The steep slopes, not that many, just 1 or 2 during this whole period that I looked at. Again, lot setbacks, housing setbacks from lot lines is the most popular request, and followed by lot coverage. You can go to the Word document. Okay. So you can see the difference variance requests categorized. Again, setbacks most common, lot coverage, stream setbacks, height, pool placements pretty popular in some years, accessory structures, and as I said, the steep slopes not all that common. Actually, there was one steep slope so far this year, Mink's property, that we did not see. There was a number of reasons why they denied a variance approval, but steep slopes was one of the concerns. Yeah. So Kim, while you were off, I was just sharing that the references to conformity in the neighborhood seems to be less common. That's kind of at the bottom of that Word document there, that you can see earlier on there was a lot more reference to citing neighborhood nonconformity as a justification or as a reason to approve people's variances. And it seems to have dropped off over time, which I think is a good thing, although it's not
I do too.
necessarily not necessarily resulting in more denials, but and it sounds like there's maybe more triage going on at the planning board or the PRC level. Is that your thought on that, Kim?
They this year had found that there was a bit of code that they weren't referencing before because they didn't know about it before. Mike, correct me if I get anything wrong.
Right, right.
So if someone is looking to expand a non-conformity through a variance, the planning board needs to review it and comment on it first.
Yep,
Okay.
that's right.
Yeah.
So like for Mink's one, he was looking for a subdivision, and his neighbors were very concerned that he was going to put a house up there because there was already a lot of flooding and drainage issues in that area. And the planning board agreed that a house up in that slope would only make problems worse. And so that was the opinion they gave to the zoning board, that the zoning board should deny it. And that's what the zoning board did.
Okay. So that, yeah, some feedback there.
Yeah.
It is interesting, going through these ZBA minutes that there's more reference to the ECB over time. So they are looking at our comments more often than they have in the past. I think that's certainly true of the planning board as well. But it's it's some data, some food for thought. I don't know what we as a group want to do with this, if anything, or just something just to keep in mind. I hope that we will continue to be our thoughts on stream setbacks and lot coverage and whatnot continue to be looked at and taken seriously. Yeah, any thoughts?
I love the data. Do you want this shared further than our group at the moment, or how do you want me to? I can definitely include it in the minutes, but would you like it shared with like the town board?
You know, I wouldn't mind, but I'm not sure if this is new information, but
Okay,
and again, I think I would let me write up just a little narrative.
perfect.
I think the ZBA is a very good job. I'm down here in North Carolina right now where development is helter-skelter, and every time there is one of these adverse weather events, this whole area suffers. I mean, that so much ground is covered with asphalt, very little attention to drainage, and they just are building and building to enhance their tax base. And we certainly don't do that. I think we have a great system set up where development is scrutinized appropriately. But there's always areas that can be improved upon. So maybe, yeah, let me do that. Just write up a little narrative. And again, from the standpoint of the ECB, which I can share with folks if there's anything else that they want to add. And with that, perhaps we can share the data with the town board.
Okay. I think they would love to get the data. Nobody's really, dug down into this stuff like this, so it will definitely, I think, be useful for them.
Very good work, Gary.
Yes,
Okay.
excellent work. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a lot of time. Takes a long
yeah,
time to go through all those.
mostly retired now, so I got all this time to fill up. Okay. But I won't do it again.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah. If you want to send that to me and the rest of the members, I can send that out in between the meetings, or if you want to bring it to the next month meeting, can do it that way too. Doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get something to you.
Okay. Perfect. So was there anybody have anything else? Did our guests have any questions or comments?
No, I find it quite fascinating.
No, thank you for the opportunity to join us. Nicole had to excuse herself to take care of our dog for a little bit, so but yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thanks for attending.
Yes,
Definitely.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Let us know if you're still interested, and we can
Are you looking for new members or?
we have one position to fill.
Okay.
We will reach out to you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Thank
Give
you.
it some serious thought. Sounds like
Jim,
a
yeah,
good
same.
good-
Same thing. If you want to reach out to me or reach out to Gary, either way, and
Okay.
we can go that way.
Okay, very good.
Thank
Thank you
so
very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Now I'm gonna go have dinner.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm
good
gonna do the
choice.
same. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Well, can we have an alternate?
Yeah, an
I've got-
alternate. I was thinking that also.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Why
I
not,
have-
right?
I was asking the town board about that, and Jared came back to me. It was a long time ago now. What did he say? we had to look into how the ECB was formed to figure out if we could have an alternate. But I'm like, well, I think all that would really have to happen is the town board needs to make a resolution.
I
Yeah,
think we kind of already had it when we merged or not the.
Oh,
other
yeah, yeah.
environmental Committee, like, I think that was already discussed and worked out from when we absorbed
Okay.
the environmental committee, but.
Oh, right.
Cause we had a couple other folks that were basically listening in,
Yeah,
so I mean, that to me, I mean, they were already an alternate at that point,
yeah.
so I think the framework is there.
Okay. I will, I think that was around the time when I had started being the secretary, so
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
while back.
yeah, I'll have to look to see if I can find anything, but if people are good with it, I can just ask if the town board can make a resolution. I
That
mean,
would be
it
fine. That would do it for sure then.
Yeah.
it shouldn't be hard. It's just
We
we'll
could have a
an al-
rotating ability to vote.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, well, guarantee we'll always have a quorum.
Yeah,
It would help.
if we got bodies that want to do it, let's get them in the door.
mhm,
Yep, I agree, and I would love to have. I wouldn't even mind if we had 2 alternates. So
Yeah.
Well, I think, yeah, why not?
wow, there's something.
Sounds like we got some qualified folks that are interested.
Yes, there's very
Mm.
qualified.
Yeah,
yeah,
their perspectives would be great.
Mhm.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll talk with Jared. We rarely have more than one person interested at a time, so it was very different.
yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
And I'll see if I can just have them put a resolution in. I wouldn't mind having multiple alternates. Did anybody have any opinion on that?
No, I think it's great. You know, when I'm thinking about it now, I think we were gonna like have one position that was for like a junior member of the town or something, so like
Yeah.
an open seat basically.
Okay.
Yeah, but structurally, I don't know, I don't remember how it worked out. But it was discussed.
Because it would help, because I know sometimes life happens and
doesn't
can't
it?
make the meeting.
Yeah,
So, but okay,
Yeah.
I will do that then. Did anybody have anything else?
No.
All right. I just need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Second.
second.
We're all
Alright.
seconding tonight.
Way to go. Yeah.
We're like, let's go have dinner.
Yeah, thank
Hey.
you all.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Talk to you
Right.
soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.